Hi folks and welcome back. It's Major Graft here and episode 6 of how to be a better creative builder. And before we get started with the tour of some fantastic plots today, first of all, thanks to everyone who subscribed. We finally did it. We hit 100. So on to the next one. I am determined, guys, to get 200 before I hit a year of filming on this channel. So join in the fun, keep hitting that subscribe button, and today we are going to be looking at plots 81 through 90 here on the Shadow Kingdom server. So without any further ado, let's get on with the tour. So we start here at build 81, Temple of Hephaistos by Tsubasa23, and this one's an interesting one because there are lots of good things about this. There are some things that just aren't quite there. It just feels like a plot that is like 90% to being great. And we're going to have a little look around and pick apart what's good about it, what's not so good about it, and how it could be improved, or if you were the builder, what you might do better. And it's a little thing, but we're going to start off with something that I point out more or less every episode these days: floaty paths. People, it looks weird. Don't do it, okay? It doesn't make your build look finished or as if they obey any kind of rules. I know Minecraft doesn't have physics, but still, we want it to make it feel like a real world, and if it feels like a real world, then it feels like it might have physics. So, tiny thing, but worth fixing. Then we have a look onto these builds here, and again, they're an okay start. A bit lacking in detail. They're very much oblongs, aren't they? Cuboids, should I say. We're in 3 dimensions, not 2 dimensions. And no builds have any windows, which seems like a really strange thing to miss out. But every single one has got an interior. There's been some effort to make these feel like proper builds. I like the different levels that they sit on to give a bit of variety and different focal points. Even thinking about nice floors. I love that effect there. But no windows and very little detailing. There's an attempt with these birch fence posts, but they feel slightly unfinished on the outside. To contrast this to the little raised market area here, and this is lovely, full of detail. All of the stall owners, all of their foodstuffs hanging out, this nice roof canopy. It's lovely. As I said, this plot is full of so many oh so close moments, and this central focal point I think is great. I like this a lot. What does it say? Temple of Hephaistos, yes. Here we go. This is a great bridge. A real sense of structure. It's slightly over the top, but it fits the grandiosity of it. I like the swirling effect of the little glass rods there. And it's a really nicely finished job. There's a sense of fire and flame, eternal fire for Hephaistos. It fits a theme. It's got some structure to it. It looks like it should stand up somewhat, and it's a great job. This plot, even the terraining, it's a great start, but it feels a little bit just not quite finished, a little bit bare. So maybe fill out this town around this side here and make more paths and make it feel a bit more full. And this plot could go from pretty good to really good, and it would not take too much effort. So go the extra mile, guys. Don't just settle for okay. Really shoot for brilliant. Now here we are, build 82, Spaceport Centurion, and a familiar face. We've had a plot from this builder before. This is a ACEPHEID variable, and also I believe another builder, Nutella 123456 because obviously Nutella wasn't available. And let's have a look. We've got another space theme. We've got the stars and the moon in the background, very fitting. And this genuinely is a build that is the TARDIS. This confused me greatly. When I saw this from the outside, I went, is that it? I mean, it's great, but it looks a bit small. But honestly, just wait till we walk through this and you will be astounded by what we find in here. Again, I'm going to scratch the surface, but we'll give it a go. A nice ship out the front, and then this nice docking bay. And first things first, I love this using the water as if it's a force field. It really feels like you're entering into the ship, and these vast interiors really do work well as a spaceport. You get the notion that those ships really could launch out of there. It's great. And these great big entrances and exits come out everywhere. It's great. I could do this all day. It's great fun. Whoosh. But that is not all that there is to see in this. This is the most dizzyingly confusing building with so many secrets. It's unbelievable. So we've got water lifts here, hotel lobby, and do not enter. So let's head up to the lobby. Here we go. And again, really nice job of using the carpet to fill out the flooring nicely. This is a good idea of something to do if you've got a really large room. Don't just use one block on the floor. It feels really monotone. Do something with the floor to make it feel more detailed and full and less repetitive. And this is a really good way of doing it with this. I don't know. Is it a rug design, floor design? I don't know. It really works. I love these stripes as well, using the quartz slabs and the black. Really gives a spacey feel to it. But there's these little hints of growth, which we're going to get to soon. Here we are at the reception. And where do we go next? Love that use of dead coral as well. Feels slightly alien-esque. Very nice touch. Here we go. Not on entrance. Restaurant down. Let's go down. Whoosh. And already, can you see how much bigger this feels like inside than it looked outside? It baffled me the first time I came on this plot. It's really, really clever. But nice use of the glass to make it feel modern here. These little alcoves everywhere. I think a little bit of a trademark of ACEPHEID. His build style. These little alcoves are really unique. I think to their build style. I like the banners here as a little divider, and then down into this bizarre space. And look at this. I think we've said this before on the last spaceport, but here we are with the primary colours again, guys. Watch out. If you're using primary colours, it can start to look cartoony, and I think you'll agree that starts to look a tiny bit like the background on a Mario game. Just showing my age there. Some nice growth here. Everywhere you look in this place, though, there's little nooks and crannies, and it's quite baffling. You really could play the world's best game of hide and seek in here. So much so that I'm going to get very, very lost. Kid at Turberry Tree. Nice little hints at alien life there. Nice. Details everywhere. So where are we going next? Recreation engine and bridge. See, everywhere. Lots of signs giving us an idea of where we're going. So feels really bizarre coming out into an all black room. It almost felt like I was stepping into nothing there. Look at these. Recreation room. Very nice. Lovely little details. Little bar. Feels like a slightly too big a room for what it is, but welcome to the RHSR. What's the RHSR? Weird. Somebody in the comments tell me what that is. ACEPHEID, if you're watching, tell me what's the RHSR. Sauna. Nice. Recreation on a space station. And then into the bowels of the ship. The engine room. Yeah, great fun. More use of this black here to make it feel slightly spacey. Here we go, weapons room. See, it's bizarre. How does all of this stuff fit inside that one small space station? Baffling. Honestly, I'm not going to even begin to touch all of this build. It's baffling. And I've forgotten half of what I'd seen already. But look, little ways out here. Not just the main entrances, these little cozy little side entrances. Great idea. And what is this wall here? What on earth is that? You are here, United Federation of Sol, Dorian Empire. I love it. A little bit of lore building there, really bringing the world to life. Very good. Guys, I know already I've missed a ton of stuff, and I can't remember where any of it is. So I am going to suggest you guys come and visit and get lost, because there is actually so much more to this place, and I have scratched the surface. Great effort there, ACEPHEID. Everyone else, come check it out. Plot 82. But for now, we're going to skip along to build 84. And as promised, here we are in build 84, Castle Anondor by CUZUNI. And it's a fantastic, grand building we can see here with this precipitous pathway all the way up to the main entrance, which gives us a fantastic view. I think that was a really nice idea to start us here, where we get a ground level view of the architecture, which really sets the scene. That fantastic massive stained glass window, and that's where we're going to stop at ground level, because if we look in here, one of the frustrating things about this is no interior, which is just such a shame, because on the exterior this is architecturally fantastic, and I would have loved some pathways going around this building so we could see it all from ground level. But as it is, we're going to have to fly to really appreciate this place. And the thing that I love the most about this is that it genuinely feels like a unique architectural style, and that's quite hard to do with the same set of blocks that however many million people are building with. But this mixture and this roof style is fantastic. The cobble and the dark prismarine just really works at this scale, particularly I think with such a large building, and the complexity of this roof structure really makes it feel like an architectural feat, that someone's taken a long time to really craft this building on paper before it ever started being built. Lovely details of the large towers and the bell in it. It's great. But really, with a build like this, we should have had a glorious interior as well. Anondor, if you see this, come back, finish it off, give the inside as much love as you gave the outside, and this could be a really standout plot. As it is, it's a fantastic start, it's a great style, but it feels just a little bit unfinished. So give it the love. Let's see just exactly what this could be. Here we have the return of another familiar face, builder Old Seed, with build 85, beginning of the end, which as you will soon find out is a not so subtle hint as to the story of this plot. And we've had some instructions here: don't do night vision, P time sunrise. So here we are at sunrise with that lovely glow, which really sets it off a little bit. I love that, the little details that help you enjoy the plot to its best. No backstory this time, sorry, just kidding. It's behind the south house side cliff, and it's the biggest one yet. Right, okay, we've got a backstory to go and find, but before we get there, let's just enjoy what we've got so far. And nice path leading us through the plot. We have a choice here and we don't know which way to go. I think we're going to go up this way first and see the houses. This is interesting. This is where we start to get hints as to what kind of house this is. Very modern style. These banks of solar panels giving a real feeling of a setting here. And we're going to look at what for me is a really, really solid example in and out of a great modern style. There's a lot we can learn from this, with the little garage, literally my favourite part of this plot. Okay, yeah, that is very cute. Well done. What on earth are they? What is that in that picture frame? Wow. Okay, interesting use of something that I don't even recognise. Well done. And here we have the kind of hallway, entranceway, a little bit of a, what's that, a washroom, Yeah, and then into the main house. Here we go. And great use of the banners there. Again, to give it a unique feel. Just a slight break from the snow or quartz. I think this is snow in this case, isn't it? Yep, snow. But these rooms are wonderful. The little kitchen. Nothing's too enormous that it feels outlandish, but it does feel quite large as a house because of that double height ceiling, and it leads you through the property. It's such a clever idea with these lovely walkways through from one building to the next. And here we are into a little seating area with this little outside courtyard back out into the starry sky. There is a little oasis to enjoy. And then we've got nice modern lighting there, using the end rods as lighting and as a banister for the stairs. Very clever. And then out here into this lovely swimming pool area. Nice infinity pool splashing off at the edge. Very modern touch. The sunbathing area. Place to have a barbecue and lots of friends round. Fantastic. Love that little detail of the end rod as the handle to the door. Such a touch that I would not have thought of. Really clever. Again, nick these ideas from people. They look great. Just use them. There's no copyright in Minecraft. This is interesting here. Up to the top. And here we have a very, very clinical, minimalist bed, I presume. And let's go along the corridor, and I'm sure we're going to get something similar. Oh no, we're not going to get something similar. Again, leading you through the property. Love these corridors that just bring you through each detail. You don't get lost, you just get led through the place. It's brilliant. Another little moment where inside turns into outside. It's a wonderful architectural idea. No doorway. It's great. And then we come down into this second part. What do we have here? A shower room. Yeah, standard. A little desk. More shelving there. That's great. How have they done that? What is that? How have they made those shelves? I'm curious. Is that layers of snow? But how are they held up? Is that snow on string? I don't know. I can't see the string. Well, again, comments below. If you know how that was done, I want to know. But for now, we're going to have to deal with the mystery. So we're back out here onto this balcony. More sunbathing. Wonderful house. So we are wondering, after that, is that it? But no, we're going to have to come down here and look at this for a whopper of a story. This is unbelievable. I'm going to read it just because it would be a shame to miss the effort of this. Backstory. You arrive at the home of South African solar energy magnate Rassie van der Dusen on the morning of the winter solstice. Something doesn't seem right. Perhaps it's the solar panels strangely made of wood. Maybe the house is too long and not wide enough. But most likely it's the giant beam of dark energy coming out of the observatory. The observatory was originally owned by the state and built to provide a means to enjoy the beautiful Paradise Falls National Park. It was purchased along with an area of land below it by Van der Dusen a few years ago with no clear purpose. It was at this time you suspected something was happening. The observatory had been a popular spot for the cult known as the Enders, of which Van der Dusen was a known member. He'd clearly been working to create a portal to summon his god and bring about the end times, as they were known by cult members. You take the elevator up with dread. When you arrive, your worst fears are confirmed. The portal is complete. But out of the cloud of despair that is your thoughts comes a realization. The portal works by feeding off our negativity. So, if everyone likes the portal, it will not open. You go straight back down to like the build and comment, creating a wave of positivity, but it won't be enough for the portal to be closed. All the people seeing this build must like and comment or our world will be doomed. You slump into a chair in the now empty Van der Dusen house. It has become a waiting game now. All you can do is hope. I think you'll agree that's fantastic and worth reading every single moment of, because it really explains what this plot was meant to be all along. And now we can see the lift, which unfortunately isn't functioning, and then we'll fly up to the top of it and see the portal opening. I love this reinterpretation of Minecraft lore. No longer is the route to the end in those dungeons, but up here on this magical observatory. Fantastic reinvention and imagination. So yeah, guys, what we can bring from this is definitely use your imagination, tell stories. These aren't just pictures, they can be full-blown novels. And I love that touch of bringing in the that you should like and subscribe. It was very, very clever play on the idea. So well done, Old Seed. Thank you for letting us enjoy that plot and enjoy your story. And here we are at the halfway point of our episode, build 87, Great Black Dragon by Ultrabrain. And before we see the dragon, I'm sorry, but we have to look at the terrain first, because once you've seen the dragon, you will not look at anything else. It's amazing. But we have to look at this terrain because it is such a marvellous job. This is a good example of how you don't need to be putting built structures to make a landscape feel interesting to the eye. The use of going from dark to light, and then these outcrops with the rivers and the waterfalls is so wonderfully well laid out that it gives a little bit of interest wherever you look. It's not just a few undulating green hills, there's real detail, and it's fantastic. But we haven't come here just to look at the hills, we've really come here to look at the Great Black Dragon itself. And look at this. This has to be my favourite organic that we found so far in all 6 episodes of this series so far. This is phenomenal, and I'm sure no one will disagree. Look at this wonderful, wonderful beast. So detailed, so wonderfully imagined. There's a few things I think we can take from this as builders if we want to aspire to being as good as Ultrabrain is at building organics. And I'm going to point a few of them out. And the first thing is look at how none of this is on a straight line. Not even the spine and neck of the dragon is on a straight line. Everything is curved. It's curved horizontally, it's curved vertically, and the mass of the body of this thing makes it feel just enormous. And you can feel the sense of movement because of the curvature that he's got from tail right round to head, that wonderful bending S-curve. And what that does is it gives it a feeling of motion. If you imagine waving a rope or a string in the air, and it curving as the waves go through the rope, that's the feeling that you get, is that this dragon is flying through the air, curving as it goes. And it's a wonderful way of bringing a static image to life. The head on a slant works beautifully. Everything. Another thing that would be so tempting to do here as a builder is to build one wing and then mirror it. But look at this. If we come back up here, these wings are completely different. They look similar, but they are absolutely not just copied and pasted. They are individually handmade, hand-built. And that really does just bring this up just another notch. It's a perfect example of guys not taking the shortcuts. It's really tempting, especially when you have World Edit, Voxel Sniper, to do the copies and pastes, do the flips, do the all those things to make making a plot quicker and easier. But this shows you what can be achieved if you just give it the dedication and time that it deserves. This, I think you'll agree, is utterly inspiring. And Ultrabrain, I think we're going to have to give you the best build of the episode here, and we're only halfway through. Let's see for the next few plots, can anyone better Ultrabrain? And from one style of ultra realistic organic to something very different, and here we have a more stylistic approach to an organic. This is build 87, water breathing 10th form by CEPHAISTOS, and here he's put a little sign for us to look at. Be brutal, this is my first organic I've ever built. My friend, if this is the first attempt you've ever made at an organic, you have some talent. This is such a great effort. This time not so realistic, a little bit more, I don't want to say cartoony because that sounds like a dig. It's not. Maybe animated, but it's brilliant. I really enjoyed this. There's a real sense of this person in a dynamic pose with the cape flowing out behind them, and this magic happening as this water dragon appears from nowhere. Really hard to make a human form at all to look realistic, and never mind at this scale. So this, for a first attempt, I think you'll agree, is fantastic. And the way they've made it so good is that they've thought about trying to put it into a unique pose with this half kneeling pose with the arms outstretched and the cape waving. That's how you make an organic, and especially a humanoid organic like this, feel that little bit more interesting. It's not just standing on two legs. It's not just a statue. There's a real sense of action and movement there. It's a really great effort, and Seps, I really encourage you to lean into your organic building. This is a fantastic start, and I can't wait to see what you can do after a little bit more practice. Now we're on to build 88, Gulf War by JMANKEY, and this is the first of two plots in a row by this builder, so we're going to get a real feel for their skills and their interests here. And the first one is depiction of Gulf War, attack chopper and tank, and it's a fantastic tank. I've seen a few tanks in my time on Minecraft, not too many, but this is definitely up there as one of the better ones. Really good. First things to note, sand on sand, normally a bit of a brave choice, quite hard to pull off, but obviously in this instance it makes sense because the tank is camouflaged, so the block choice makes sense for the theme, and this is a really great effort. The tracks with the dust and sand flinging off them as it roars through the desert, the top part of the tank off at one angle there to give that feeling of movement, and this wonderful little gunner. Isn't this great? I thought that was a fantastic little touch. The gunner operating the gun using the end rods as bullets is a nice idea as well. So great effort there. Mankey really enjoyed seeing something a little bit different this time. And the only thing I'm wondering is, where's the attack chopper? But here it is up at the top. I didn't even see that before. Let's get this all rendered in. Another great job. Such a difficult shape to get feeling realistic in Minecraft, and done pretty well here. Do we have a back end to it? Do we have a back rotor? No, we didn't have enough space on the plot, which is a real shame. I would have loved to see this in its entirety, but it's a great start, and hopefully we'll see more of these from JMANKEY in the future. Notice how these rotors bend slightly downwards. Tiny little touches that make it feel just a tiny bit more realistic, because it's really tempting if you're going to do these propellers just to make them all flat on one level, but no, the slight curvature makes all the difference. A really clever idea. Obviously someone who knows the subject well enough that they can render it. Another example of do your research. Research makes better builds. So on to our second JMANKEY plot here, build 89, ballroom dance, and this plot slightly strangely has two builds, and I know the plot is named ballroom, but as we've got both plots here in eye line of one another, it seems to make sense to have a look at both. But let's look at one at a time, because these are obviously concentrating on some organics without worrying about a plot to fit them on. But this really is an organic episode this time, isn't it? And this is another fantastic effort here. I think you will agree this is phenomenally difficult to do. The position at which these bodies of these dancers are at is unbelievably difficult to render in Minecraft, and it's been done with a very high degree of skill. I love the flowing tails of the man's coat and the dress of the woman. It's fantastic. What makes this work, and if you're looking to do this, is that JMANKEY clearly has a very, very good understanding of the proportions of the human body. And two bodies put together like this is incredibly difficult to do, but the arms are the right length in proportion to the body. The head is the right size compared to the rest of the body. The position of the legs suggests that they understand where the hips are in comparison to one another when this close together. Real studying of anatomy at a brief level will increase your ability to do builds like this, and I think it was a really wise idea on this to leave faces off. I think one thing that I've noticed when building heads at this scale, they can very quickly look cartoony and strange and a little bit goofy, so really good choice to leave off the faces here in order to keep the seriousness of the build. So unbelievably well done there, JMANKEY. And again, fantastic block choices. Using the sandstone for skin there really, really works. It gives a more natural skin tone than trying to find a slightly more unnatural pink look that might have made it feel a little cartoony. So well done. Now we're going to have a look very quickly at the second part of this plot. We're going to start inside the wee hut here because we get a little bit of information here. This is a samurai build inspired by armor worn by the high-ranking samurai or the wealthy, and armor worn by daimyo samurai equipped with a tachi, gunbai, dansen, wakizashi. Wow, really pushing my pronunciation there. Did I get any of them right? Probably not, but we gave it a good go. And this is fantastic. Look at the colours on this, really lively build. Again, showing really, really good understanding of proportion of a human anatomy here, which is not easy at all. I love how the angle of this is off at an angle here, if you look at the side of the body, and then these weapons off the arm are straight, and then we have the flag at the back here going at the same angle. Using these angles cleverly, so the sword here is straight as well, so that it feels slightly more alive, because things aren't straight, but making them easy to build because everything that's going to have a straight plane is either on a diagonal or on a flat, like the sword at the back here that's been tucked in. So really using geometry carefully, and again, as I mentioned earlier, wonderful palette choice here to bring these colours to life. I am willing to bet that this has been done from some fairly intricate photographs to get this really realistic, but the highlight for me is that mask. To get that mask looking so scary and realistic at this scale is an absolute feat to be proud of. It is glorious, it really is, and something that JMANKEY should be very proud of, and something that we can all aspire to as builders. And here we are finally at our last build, and we have saved the best for last possibly here with Build 90 HIMEJI Castle by LOCKENOIA, who we've been impressed by in our previous episode with the fantastic St Basil's Cathedral. Here we have another historic real world build here, built with great faith and detail to the original. It is wonderful. There's an actual castle in Japan, and you can Google that and have a look for yourself. I think I'm going to throw up a couple of images just to demonstrate just how faithful this build is to the original, and it is again spectacular, really well done. There's a few things I would like to point out about this plot to bring from it for other builders. If you look at the castle in its real life situation, it's not quite the same. So as much as the building itself has been faithfully recreated, LOCKENOIA hasn't been slave to the detail of the exact terrain around it. There's a little bit of creative license gone on there to make it feel suited to this small plot, and that's really a good idea if you are trying to build things that are from real life or being inspired by real life photos. Don't feel like you have to recreate every single detail exactly as it is. Use some artistic license, change things where you need to make it work for Minecraft and make it work for your plot. And as you can see here, the other thing that I think raises this plot up above others is the detail on the interiors is just as meticulous as the detail on the exterior, and that really sets this building apart from other larger scale builds. You can see in here there's been really faithful detailing of all of these pillars and supports, and this feels really faithful to how the actual build would have been, and it goes all the way up. It's fantastic. So yeah, fantastic job throughout LOCKENOIA. I think if I was going to say one thing, maybe that cobble is a little bit busy because there's so much of it on the roof, but I'm not entirely sure what you would have used that was any better. So fantastic effort, authentic exterior, authentic interior, really skilled build, and a build that we can learn a lot from. So well done. So there we are, folks, another episode of this series complete. Loads more builds to be inspired by and to try and emulate in your own building. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Good luck with your building, and we'll see you in the next one.